buenos dias.
Hi, good morning.
It's me, Barbaro. I sound a little bit like a man today.
It's me, Estella.
This is our number four episodes. So by now we've already posted them.
First and second.
Do you say post like if it was like an Instagram post?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've already on our second episode posted and the feedback has been amazing.
Yes.
I just cannot believe it. Like I look at it and I send messages to Estella and I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. We really, really do appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And I know most of it is our family, sadly. But we have 11 followers on Instagram.
You gotta start somewhere, so.
I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I just feel like at least we're doing it and having fun, yeah. So.
Wait, let me drink my coffee.
Oh, first sip of coffee. Cafecito, buenos dias. Yes, cheers.
Clink.
We just cheers, like literally cheers. And we're in my garage today. We're so in my garage. A little bit of
Wait, what
ASMR.
Are you drinking?
I'm drinking, well, I am half of the time and sometimes on keto. So I'm drinking a venti americano sorry about that. A venti americano with heavy cream. And sometimes I put vanilla, but today I'm feeling a little risque, so no vanilla. You?
I'm really into nitro cold brews right now. So that's what I'm drinking with like a little splash of vanilla cream.
And I am also...
It's cream, yeah.
That sounds really good.
It's good. I really like it.
And I'm also sitting here with my fly swatter because there is a wasp inside of my garage.
A big-ass wasp.
It's like...
huge.
Está bien como del tamaño de una pinche pájaro and shit. So we're kind of scared of it, pero at the same time...
We gotta get it done.
Gonna get it done. So, vamos a ver. Today we're gonna do a episode of something that is really sad, bien triste, pero
They're all sad.
I think they're all sad, but this one because of the type of...
It involves a 4-year-old girl.
And by the way, this is unsolved. No lo han pescado al crimen.
Well, we'll get to that. Pero you're the one that you said that you saw it on Netflix.
My sister, once again,
Vanessa.
shout out to my sister Vanessa. She told me, hey, ¿has visto este episodio on Netflix? She's obsessive over like crime shit on Netflix. We're more like we watch on YouTube. And so then I'm like, no, I haven't seen it. She's like, you should watch it. So está en español. Y lo vi. I watched it, and it's, like I said, it's in Spanish. It was very interesting. So I told Estella, I'm like, dude, you have to watch the show. You have to learn about it. And once I told her, she's like, oh shit, like we have to do an episode on this.
Yes. But I didn't watch the whole series on Netflix.
It's out there if you want to watch it.
Yeah, it's called The Search.
The Search. And
it's in Spanish.
It's in Spanish.
And it's based on a true story.
It's based on a true story.
And it's like dramatized. It's acted out by other actors and stuff. So you can watch it.
Yeah, so...
Sale Ernesto LaGuardia, right? He's in
there. Ernesto LaGuardia. And there's some
there.
Other actors in there that I could recognize, pero no me sé los nombres.
Yeah, but I've seen him before. But actually, I did read that when the show premiered, like, it got a lot of backlash because a lot of the actors, they were, like, usually they would do comedic work. Mm. And, yeah, I did read that. So.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't really... all I saw was the show, and I was like, okay, whatever it was... Good. Yeah, estaba bueno, pero whatever it was that they were trying to convey or that they were trying to let us know about, I was like, okay, like, we need to learn about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's today's case.
And then please follow us on Instagram so we can have more, maybe 20.
Maybe 20 followers.
And it's...
You can follow us on Instagram at Cafecito and Crime Pod. Okay.
All right, so let's get started.
Okay, so...
oh, by the way, I am so sorry. I do sound really sick.
It's nasally.
So, yeah. And I did probably get it from work, so thank you.
Okay.
You may proceed.
Paulette Gebara Farah was born on July 20th, 2005 to parents Lisette Farah and Mauricio Gebara. She was born premature at 25 weeks gestation. She weighed 1.27 pounds and was 13.3 inches long.
Oh, she was a little preemie.
Yeah, and I couldn't find why she was born premature. I don't know. Doctors did not think that she was actually going to make it, but salió bien.
Gracias a Dios.
Gracias a Dios. Paulette sí quedó con disabilities, which made it hard for her to speak and walk properly. And doctors actually told her parents que she was not going to be able to walk. But with the help of, it's actually really cool, hippotherapy, which is where you ride horses and it helps people for their physical health.
Cool, that's cool.
So with that, she ended up being able to walk. But she still did need some assistance and stuff, but she was good. Her speech wasn't great either. Solamente podía decir unas palabras como mamá, papá, agua, sí, Y you could understand her, and she understood everything. She was normal besides not being able to talk properly and walk properly. I think her parents say that she would walk with las nanas. I'm getting ahead of myself, but she had nannies.
You are.
Yes, they would say that she would just walk with the limp.
So basically, she was very advanced for whatever
They thought she
was going to make. Yeah. Gracias a Dios.
There's actually, when I was looking up videos, I know you probably didn't see it because I'm sure they probably didn't show it on the show, but there was a video when Dan Mauricio la grabó. He has a video of her and she's riding like a tricycle because it was January of 2010. Y la grabó and she's riding her tricycle and he's like, oh, she's riding her gifts from Santa Claus. And you just see her like trying to ride this tricycle and you can see que la mano izquierda, it's not as strong as her right hand. Like you can tell. And she's trying to like push herself and she's wearing like a little cute pink sweater and just her little jeans and her little like ponytail. Oh, it's so sad. It was so sad. So Paulette did have an older sister named Lisette. Like, their mom's also named Lisette, who was 3 years older than Paulette. She was also in that video that I just talked about right now. She was riding a bike, like an actual bicycle, tenía training wheels. The family of 4 lived in Huixquilucan, which is just essentially a suburb of Mexico City. They lived in a luxury high-rise apartment. Tenían dinero.
Yeah, tenían mucho dinero. According to what I saw and what I've seen is like they were pretty up there. Like they had money.
Yeah, so, Mauricio, the dad, he actually was self-made, but he was in real estate. Y la mom, Lisette, she already came from money. So she grew up with money, but she was also an attorney. So they were set. They also had 2 live-in nannies for the girls, especially for Paulette, that she needed the most help. But they would also help around the house con quehaceres and stuff like that. The nannies were Erika and Marta Casimiro. They were sisters.
They're sisters.
At the time of the events that today's case took place, Marta had been working con la familia for about 6 years, y luego Erika about 2 years. So she brought in her sister later. They also had 2 dogs. So that's everyone in the apartment. 4 adults, 2 kids, y 2 perros. Okay? So that's her life. So now we're jumping to 2010. Y Paulette tiene 4 años. The weekend of March 19th, 2010, Mauricio took his 2 daughters, Paulette and Lisette, to Valle de Bravo for a little, family getaway, which was about 3 hours from Huixquilucan. Y Lisette, la mom, se fue a Los Cabos con su amiga Amanda for a girls' trip. Iba a ser su cumpleaños de Amanda, so se iban a ir a celebrar allá. They're going to go and have
So they were going separate trips?
Yes.
Okay.
They were all due to return back to the home on Sunday, March 21st, 2010. So Lisette llega primero. Y she's in the lobby. She's waiting for Mauricio to get there, and she meets the girls at the lobby, and then they all walk up together to their apartment or whatever, take the elevator. Because she was going to put the girls to bed. Porque dice que siempre she would always help or put the girls to bed. So the girls, they all get home. They make it to the apartment. Y Lisette puts Paulette to bed around 9ish, 10. She changed her into her PJs, helped her brush her teeth, le dio la bendición, tucked her in, le dio un beso, le apagó la luz, y se fue. Y now, en la cama, Paulette was sleeping in, it was new. It was about, I think they say 15 to 20 days old.
Que la habían comprado, tenían apenas 15 días.
15, ajá.
They only had 15 days.
Y que they would put pillows next to her para que no se cayera de la cama, because
I remember doing that when my kids were little too.
Yeah, and they say que this was her big girl bed. Y before this, she still slept in a crib.
Okay.
So she has her new bed. They put pillows beside her and fue a dormir.
Laid her down y ya, se acostó.
Yes. On Monday, March 22nd, Erika, one of the nannies, went to wake up Paulette for school around 8 a.m., but she walks in there, le abre la puerta, and she doesn't go in there. She just sees que no está Paulette en la cama. So she goes to see if Paulette is with her parents in their bedroom, because she would sometimes do that. Y la nanny does say in an interview que estaba como agripada, like she had like a little cold. And when that would happen, ella se paraba en la noche y se iba al cuarto a dormir con sus parents. So she thought that, she probably did that. So la fue a buscar. When she gets there, she doesn't see the dad in la cama. So she goes downstairs. She's probably thinking, a lo mejor está abajo con Mauricio.
Ya se levantó.
So she goes down the stairs and she walks up to the kitchen or into the kitchen. Y she sees Mauricio walking towards her. Y Paulette no está con él. And
so in the actual place where in the actual Netflix show, they would call her Poe. Because that was her like her nickname. They would call her Poe.
Yeah.
So in the whole thing, they're like, "Where's Poe? Poe, ¿dónde estás, Poe?" And they're like looking for Poe. So anyway, go ahead.
So le pregunta a Erika, and she's like, "Have you seen Paulette? Si está contigo?" And he tells her no. Y so she's like, "Well, I can't find her." Y le dice, pues a lo mejor está acostada con su mamá en la cama. So she goes back upstairs, but instead of going to check the room, ella va otra vez al cuarto de Paulette y la empieza a buscar. Y checa, she says that Paulette had her own bathroom. She checks the bathroom, she checks the closet, she checks the bed, under the bed.
Everywhere that you can think they could be hiding.
Room, en el cuarto de la niña. She calls her name out and nothing. So she screams down to Mauricio y le dice que no encuentra a Paulette anywhere. So then she goes to wake up la mom Lisette y le dice que no pueden encontrar a Paulette. Y dice que la nana dice que la mom, she didn't look alarmed or nothing, and tells her that maybe she went to the playground that they have in their building. So Erika then goes and wakes up her sister Marta y le dice que si ha visto a Paulette o que si está con ella, y le dice que no.
So the little girl solita se salió and was like, "Let me go to the playground," according to her mom.
Possibly. Y so le va y le pregunta a Marta. Marta le dice que no está con ella. So Marta se para and she starts looking herself, right? Y Erika leaves the apartment and she goes down and looks at the playground area. Y no está. She then asks the security guard of the building, y nada. So she goes back up to the apartment and then she sees the mom Lisette. She ya está parada. She's drinking coffee, smoking a cigarette in front of her computer. She's there. And apparently,
¿No la buscó o sí la buscó ella?
Obviously she's smoking, but dice que Mauricio, she only had a designated area for her to smoke in. That's the only area that she could smoke in. I think it was just like a little corner back office that's close to the balcony. So ahí está. Mauricio, Erika, and Marta all now leave the apartment. Y se van a buscar a la niña all over the building. They knock on people's doors. They check all the floors, the pool. They check elevators, staircases. They go to the other tower on the other side of the building. Y nada. Si no la encuentra. Like during all this, Lisette, the oldest daughter, ella ya se fue a la escuela. She would leave to school like around 7. El bus la recogía. So she wasn't there anymore. So meanwhile, the dad and the nannies were looking for Paulette. Lisette starts looking herself around the apartment and then catches up to them when they were pulling the cover off the pool to see if she was in there. And she later states in an interview that she was just so relieved that Paulette wasn't in there when they were pulling off the lona off of the pool. So they can't find her in Mauricio. They're like, okay, we need to call someone, right?
Mm-hmm. So just to say something between this and the actual Netflix special, if you want to watch it, they don't say that they look for her this bad. All of this is just from Estela's research. Because everybody in the actual video or in the movie thing, they dramatized it. Mm-hmm. So it seems like they didn't care. They were like, okay, we didn't look for her. That was it.
Really?
But, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. No. In the whole video, like in the whole thing, it looks like they didn't even look for her.
They were trying to show a specific narrative.
They were showing something specific. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So then, they can't find her. So Mauricio calls his sister instead. Arlette, I believe is her name. Si su hermana, she has connections. So she calls in a favor. Y luego, super fast, the Attorney General, Alberto Vaz, he gets on the case. And Alberto Vaz plays a major role in this case, and his name is going to come up a lot.
Apparently he was a very he was a newer
Attorney General.
He was a newer guy in the office, so he wasn't like what they would say, somebody that's been there with a lot of seasoned. Yeah. Yes. So he really didn't know a lot. So whenever they brought him in, he was like, I don't like it. He was like,
why am I being called? But it was a favor from the governor. So
they're like, pues es que las niñas no se pierden en
Interlomas. That's the area that they live in.
Yeah. So these people have money, so las niñas no se pierden there.
So Alberto Vaz gets called. He's like, what? I'm a little missing girl. So he tries to find somebody that he can put on the case. So he gets the deputy attorney, Alfredo Castillo, on the case. And I think he was dealing with firearms and drugs.
Yeah, he was dealing with drugs.
Yeah,
so he was like, why are you sending me?
He was like, there's nobody else. You're on the case. So así quedó. So the police arrives at the Gebara Farah home around 10 a.m. and there at the apartment, it's already Mauricio's family. Como ellos ya habían llegado. And they were all just helping to look for Paulette. Ya llega la policía, massive search.
Yeah.
Starts. Right off the bat. They search again, the building, the surrounding areas. What did I say like that? The surrounding areas. The apartment, nada. The apartment itself, they found that it had no forced entry signs. Nothing was out of place. Nothing was missing.
Nothing was broken.
Yeah. Paulette sí tenía una ventana en su cuarto. It was just long and narrow, but they were so high up. There was no way that she would have
crawled out.
Yeah. And they, los dogs, dijeron que los dogs didn't even make any sound in the middle of the night to alert.
Son dos.
Two dogs. Yeah. So they didn't alert to anything. And this building. So this building where they lived, nice, fancy. Nadie de la calle se puede meter. You have to be let in. They had guards at all access points, the front, the back, the sides. And also, I know you told me about it, but it was really weird that as fancy as this place was, their security cameras only recorded in time.
Yeah, they only recorded in time.
You couldn't go back and play it.
No.
So, but they asked the guard watching the cameras. He's like, no, I was here all night. Mm-hmm. I did not see anybody suspicious on camera, and I did not see Paulette on camera at all. So así quedó, all this is going on. And so, their first thought is okay, she got kidnapped.
Yeah, because es lo que piensan. Because they're they want money.
It's Mexico.
Yeah, it's Mexico. That's the first thing they do. They want money.
Okay, so that's their first thought, right?
Yeah.
Not their only thought, but that's their forefront. It's at their forefront.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they're expecting someone to call and be like, hey, we want money. Here she is. She's alive. She's good.
Yeah.
Give us money and we'll go.
So that's their first theory. But, they also start looking into other things because when a kid, cuando algo le pasa a un niño, you're always going to start from the people that are closest to the kid, which is la familia. And more times than not, it is always somebody that they know. They think it's kidnapping, but they're also looking at other avenues of what or who could have been involved. In the next couple of days, or even I believe within the next day that Paulette gets reported missing, Paulette Gebara, la tía, uploads Paulette's picture in a post about what's happened to her to social media. The story just takes off like no other on Facebook and Twitter. Everywhere. You know, they know people, they have connections, so this just
spread like wildfire?
Yes.
Yeah. So whatever I saw on the video or the Netflix special, they say they were like, we have to make noise so that people can look to see if she's around, see where she's at, she's whatever.
Because she's a little four-year-old girl que es, está discapacitada and she no se puede valer por ella misma. They, not long after, there's billboards, banners all over with her picture. And it says, one of them says, ayúdame a regresar a mi casa. Help me return home. Mm-hmm. It says how old she is and how she needs her parents because she has, disabilities or this story is everywhere. You couldn't turn on the TV, the radio, or get online without seeing Paulette's picture or case.
They have connections.
Well, they know people that know people that know people.
Yeah, they have money. They have money. Yeah. Pronto. I mean, if you have money, you can get shit move faster than us that don't have money.
About 30 investigators were assigned to the case, apparently. And now at the forefront of but the main person, like I said, at the forefront of this case was Attorney General Alberto Basbas. He, gets asked by the press, is there any leads on Paulette's case, whereabouts? And dice que no, pero si encuentran algo, la gente va, besides Paulette's family, la gente will be the first ones to know. Not that they fucking know anything anyways.
They don't know anything,
They don't know shit.
Nothing.
And this is where some controversy starts. Like you were saying, people that have money, you can make shit happen faster than people that don't have money. Kids go missing every day and no one bats an eyelash. Well, not that they don't care.
I think you don't care. It's just that over there in Mexico,
it doesn't get this amount of coverage.
Yeah,
this many people don't care, or this many people high up don't care. Unless it happens to them.
Yeah.
But when a girl from a wealthy family goes missing and the OG office is like immediately involved, that, like you said, that wouldn't happen for just anybody. So people, as much as they're pissed off about this, still want to be like, well, regardless, this is a 4-year-old little girl.
Yeah.
She's missing.
Yeah.
Let's help her get back home. So, okay, so all this is going on, everywhere. Shit's just everywhere. So in the Gebara Farah home, family are coming over. They're staying over to offer support. Amanda, Lisette's best friend, the one that she went to Cabos with, also spent a couple of days there. She slept in Paulette's bed, as did other relatives.
Yeah, I think more than...
Not at the same time, obviously.
Pero
no, se estaban quedando en la casa.
Sí, se estaban quedando en la casa. So you're like, no, pues ahí duermes, like, no hay problema,
It's like when you have family over,
yeah.
Whatever, donde quepa la gente, ahí se van a acostar.
We know.
Interviews are also being given already in the home, some in Paulette's room, which in one of the interviews that Lisette gives, because that's the thing, Lisette is the one giving the most interviews, and Mauricio's kind of like a little bit just like in the background. He gives an interview here and there, but mostly it's just Lisette. So like I said, Lisette is actually giving a specific interview where she and the interviewer, which her name is Lily Tellez. So just remember Lily Tellez for like a little bit because she'll come back a bit later. But they're both sitting on this bed and, they're talking.
There's an actual like video of this interview.
Oh, no, there's all these interviews. Google it, YouTube it. They're all on there.
Yeah.
All of them. So are both sitting on this bed and Lisette goes through the events of the night before when she put Paulette to bed and the events of the morning when they couldn't find her. Now, after this, también Lisette gets an interview. She's giving interviews a lot. So there's another one where she's outside her home, pleading with whomever took her to safely return Paulette home. Dice que la dejen en un shopping mall, so somebody that recognizes her, since her picture's been all over the place, can help her get home. So she gives that interview, right? Soon after this, or she went missing Monday. By Friday, the kidnapping theory just gets discarded because en todos esos días que ha pasado, nobody has called for a ransom. So they're like, okay, so it's not that. Because they would have called by now.
Yeah. And I think that in the video or in the... I keep calling it a video. Fuck. In the series, they were like, ya nos tenemos que ir. Like, we have to move on. And she's like, why? Why are you guys leaving? And they're like, well, because they're not calling for a ransom. So she wasn't kidnapped. You know what I mean? Like, we gotta go.
So, okay, so it's not a kidnap. But like I said, the police also started looking into the family. And when they interview Mauricio, Lisette, Erika, and Marta, there seemed to be some inconsistencies between their stories. And then some other things that started to come out into the light made people squint at Lisette, la mamá. So Amanda, the BFF, she starts giving interviews también, and she suelta la sopa. She says que cuando estaban en Cabos, her and Lisette met up with 6 or 7 men, that they were all friends, right? Y que they were all married, but they were just meeting up. And she says that Mauricio...
6 or 7 men.
Yes.
Okay, so we're talking about 6 or 7 men. So I thought this was interesting because that's a lot of men, bro.
Yeah.
That's a lot of men. But they're all married.
They're all married, yeah. They're all married. They were all friends, but they were all married. Y también dice que Mauricio did not know this, or did not know about this.
About the 7 men?
About that they were meeting up with 6 or 7 men in Cabos.
How is it 6 or 7, bitch? Like,
I don't know. That's what the research
I'm just saying,
says.
like, okay, son 6 or 7, motherfucker. Like, you can't
6 y medio.
Like, it's 1.5. I mean, 7.5 or 6.5.
I don't know.
There's no way.
I'm just going to say 6 or 7 because that's what the research says. 6 or 7. And I know the document, not the documentary, but the show on Netflix says 8.
The series said 8.
Okay, well.
So I don't know if it was 6, 7, or 8. Damn it, bruh.
So, Mauricio no sabe. Y como dije, like, they're all married, según, except for one. And according to Amanda, he only had eyes for Lisette and was just crazy about her, even though he had just met her a month before.
Crazy about
the couple trip. And she recalls that in all the time that she had known or had been friends with Lisette, which they had known each other since elementary school, primary school, she witnessed men just fall at her feet. She just seemed to have this power over them, she says in the interview about Lisette. Amanda también dice that Lisette told her that on the trip, various men kept on telling her to leave her husband, that they would accept her with her daughters, that le ofrecían estas cosas, propiedades, joyas, dinero, pero espérame, pero que Lisette le dijo, but she would just never leave her gordito, Mauricio, that he was just such a great guy, y que lo quería mucho, and that they got along great. Es lo que Amanda está diciendo que Lisette le dijo en Cabos on their girls' trip with 6 or 7 men.
Okay, let's recap this information, guys. So, you're telling me... Hold up. So you're telling me you're going to go with 6 or 7 men, because we don't know if it's 6 or 7 or 6.5 or 8.
Or 8.
So you're telling me you're going to go on this trip with your best friend with all the F's, and then you're going to say, leave your mans, come with me. I'm going to give you everything. I'll accept. Bitch. And then you're going to be like, no, I'm never going to do that. I will never. But you're at the trip with 6 or 7 men.
They're friends. ¿Te acuerdas? Son amigos, pues.
I'm just saying.
So, that comes to light, lo que dijo Amanda en la interview. And then people also start noticing that in las entrevistas que da Lisette, she's not really showing emotion like a mother whose daughter is just disappeared.
Yeah.
Which I get it. Everybody handles things differently. Like, it doesn't mean because she's not crying that she
I'm
made
a
her daughter
drama queen, but that's just me.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
She seems cold and she cries, but there are no tears. And she just talks very casual about the whole thing. She even says, which is actually like a quote that people hated, or it made it seem like she didn't care. She was like, Harry Potter, okay, when explaining that Paulette just disappeared.
Wow.
Yep. So people are seeing this and they're like, ma'am, aren't you supposed to be sad, ma'am?
What a fucking bitch. Harry Potter, my culo, pendeja. What the hell?
There's also an interview también where she says, Lisette, she was like, la están grabando, but the interview hasn't started. Y dice, wait, can we rehearse?
Yeah, let's rehearse.
Yeah, like that. She says that. So like I said earlier también, like, todo esto está saliendo de Lisette or about Lisette. But like I said, there were also inconsistencies between Mauricio, Lisette, Erika, and Marta's stories. And there were enough inconsistencies, apparently, to have a root order placed on all 4 of them. Un arraigo. And it's exactly what it sounds like, a root order to keep someone detained in a specific location, which is what they do. So on March 29th, they were transferred over to a hotel in Toluca where they were all kept separate, like they were all separated. And according to Erika and Marta, later they say that they were questioned by police. They saw a psychologist, a psychiatrist, they were drug tested, and took polygraph tests.
Yeah. I mean, they went through a lot of lengths to find out what happened.
Yeah, like who, if they were lying.
If they were lying.
So, están detenidos or whatever. Y también, aquí es cuando sale un recording, more shit on top of making Lisette look like a suspect. Sale un recording where Lisette is talking to little Lisette, su hija, la más grande, and telling her to keep quiet y que no diga nada y que no sabemos nada porque le van a echar la culpa. So I'm just going to insert a clip of it right here and hopefully you can hear it. One momento.
So basically she just tells her, no digas nada because nos van a echar la culpa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get why this looks bad, and I do. but I don't think this is like damning evidence. Like
I don't think so. I honestly don't think so.
I think people forget that she herself is an attorney. I don't know what type of attorney, but she has to have some knowledge.
So she's just coaching her daughter, to make sure that I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, because I mean, she has to know that, anything that you say, they're going to use against you.
We'll see, especially if they have recording of it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I don't know if you were able to look up in your research, how did they get these recordings? Okay, so the way that I saw it, and I don't know if this is correct or not, but in the series,
Alberto
Basbas, he actually put maybe not an order, but maybe like he was like, hey, I need to get more information.
So they bugged the place?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So they're like, so whenever you go into the series, the video, they say, hey, you know what? You have to put these things in there because we have to find out what's going on. So when these recordings come by, all of the reporters are like, where are you getting these recordings from?
Gotcha. Okay.
Where are you getting this from? Because that's illegal. You can't bug people's
homes
shit
without a warrant.
¿De dónde agarraste esto? ¿De dónde agarraste esta información? ¿Dónde están? And they're like, they didn't even know how to answer that.
Yeah.
So that's why that was a big part of the series, was like, because they wanted to find out, ¿de dónde estás agarrando esta información? Well, this motherfucker put bugs in their house. Because they were like, there has to be something going, because of all the inconsistencies in their stories, between somebody said that they put the baby asleep, the little girl to sleep, somebody others saying that they did, so they didn't even make their shit, fit. Yeah.
So
that's my little 2 cents.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So these 4 people, they're in a rude order. So, there's nobody in the apartment. Yeah, está like desalojado. There's nobody in there. Everybody's been taken out. So while esta gente is detained in Toluca, the little police, the little experts, they go into the apartment and start doing a reconstruction of the events of that night.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot to say that before all of this, like cuando se los llevan a los papá y a la mamá, little Lisette está con la familia de Lisette, the mom. Mm-hmm. So se la llevan allá. Mm-hmm. And then Mauricio's family va y la recoge. So then she's with her dad's side of the family.
Yeah.
Okay. So while these 4 are under the root order, nobody's in the apartment, está desalojado. The little experts, the little police, they come and start doing a reconstruction of events. On March 31st, at around 2 a.m., Paulette's little body is found in her room, wrapped in sheets at the foot of the bed, wedged between the mattress and the bed frame. Okay. One of the men that was working on the reconstruction events later states in an interview that he was passing by Paulette's room and que olió algo malo, que olía feo, and then decided to go in there. Now, when I was watching the video, it was the people that were doing the reconstruction events, they're wearing like this, covered in like a white body, full body.
Like a hazmat suit.
Yeah.
It's a hazmat suit.
And they had like it was fucking weird because they were measuring the bed to the wall, and then they were measuring the bed frame to the mattress.
But this is like actual video that
when they found her body.
When they actually, like, Estela actually found
it's on there. It's on there on YouTube. It's on there, and they were measuring, and then they pull like the comforter, like to kind of like measure the bed frame to the mattress. So they're moving around the comforter when they see skin, and then they just start slowly pulling the comforter, like cobija, like la quitan toda, and it just reveals her tiny body. And this full-on video is just out there for you to see. Like you said, people posted it on the news. They don't give a fuck. But there was another video that I did watch, which is on the one that I prefer to watch. They blur out her body. It was a news channel from Mexico, and they're like, por
respeto
a
la familia.
Y para la gente que, we're showing this to, we're going to blur out her body. And that's the one that I watched. I didn't want to watch the other one because I was going to cry.
No, she did, but she actually did message me and send me a picture of it, and she was like, is this real? And I said, yes, that is exactly.
That was the picture. That was
before you actually
saw the video, yeah.
So then I'm going to tell y'all. So I don't know if this is any inconsistencies to what you read, but what I saw in the series, once again, I'm sorry, I keep saying this shit, but the reason is because I feel like the series kind of gives a little bit of a better, like, understanding of what certain things were, and certain things were dramatized, and maybe that's not true, but based on what they were saying was that they had dogs look for her. They gave them her scent.
Yes.
They took off the sheet at the beginning. Like, they had a sheet of hers and was like, we gave it to the dog so that they can smell it.
People say that, so they find her in her bedroom, right? Like you just said. Like they said that 100 to 150 people were in and out of this room. Interviews were given in this room. People slept in this room.
Her mom literally sat on the bed giving the interview. This is the interview that we talked about with that lady.
Lili Tellez.
Lili ¿qué?
Tellez.
Tellez. So that was the lady that actually sat with the mom.
On this bed.
On this bed, guys.
And it was like a full-size bed.
It's a full-size bed.
Full-size bed.
Okay.
Full-size bed.
So because this was her big girl bed, you go from from a crib to a bigger bed. This little girl was, when you see, if you guys please go, I know that y'all don't probably want to know, but if you want to understand a little bit of my rage.
No, we'll post the pictures on our Instagram.
On
post
our
for the
Instagram,
story.
so y'all can see. It was just impossible to miss
no
this
way,
little
dude.
body. You
There's
cannot.
no way.
There's no way.
They were saying that the dogs were trained to find someone alive, not dead.
Girl.
So I forgot to say this in the beginning, but they had search and rescue dogs come in and look for her in her room. So, like it's like you said, it's frustrating because, and there's even another interview where the mom is sitting at the foot of the bed giving an interview. Y su niña, according to them, su niña's like right there.
Imagine like a bed frame that's bigger than the size of the mattress. So the mattress is a full size, and the little girl estaba between the bed and the bed frame. So in the middle, in the front, on the top. So basically where your feet are supposed to go, she's lodged in between the bed frame and the mattress.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying that
happened to her.
That happened to her. Yeah.
Sale esto and people are like pissed off and they're like, there's no fucking way.
Bro,
There's
I'm telling
no
you,
fucking way.
in the fucking video, if y'all, I'm sorry, but this is the actual video that Estela found and that I watched. They say in the video, the guy is like, se la chingaron. Like, he actually says something in the video. So then you're like, bro, why would you say that? And they put this shit on the fucking news, Estela. Like, on the fucking news. This is the little girl.
See, that's the thing. When this came out, you know, like you say, people didn't believe this. They're like, there's no fucking way. Somebody placed her body there. Erika and Marta, las nanas, later, after pasa todo esto, later give interviews where they say that there is no way in hell que ahí estaba la niña. There's no fucking way. Ya habían pasado 9 días. As soon as she went missing, they were the ones that entraron al cuarto cuando Amanda, la BFF, se iba a quedar a dormir ahí. El Thursday, they cleaned the room and made the bed cuando Amanda se iba a quedar, which they said was that Thursday. So la niña was reported missing Monday.
Yeah.
Y ellas no hicieron el cuarto, limpiaron el cuarto hasta el jueves.
Sí.
Okay, so there's no way.
There's
You're
no
like,
way.
we made the bed, and when we were looking for her, we looked under the bed. There's no way that she was there.
Mind you, Estela had made a comment that there was a lot of people in this house. There was a lot of people going in and out of the house. I mean, they looked for her.
Looked for her.
They literally had. What about their own dogs? Like, my dog, like, he sniffs the crap out of, and hard. I mean, he be sniffing hard. So, I mean, like, if he's looking for something, if the dogs, even their own dogs are so smart. Like,
I don't know what happened to the dogs. You know.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
they move them out the way, whatever.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, it wasn't like 1 or 2 people went in there. This girl slept in the bed. People slept in the bed. So you're telling me.
And then this room is not that big at all.
The room is small.
Esta Lili Tellez, the interviewer from earlier that was sitting with Lisette on the bed, you know, when these news come out or whatever, she's like, nope. Like, no. She's like, there's no fucking way. She's like, during the interview, the door was closed.
Yeah.
The room is not big. And then she says that the room wasn't cold. Not cold enough to fucking preserve a body. Because when the organs will start decomposing within 24 to 72 hours. So I think the interview was Friday con Lili Tellez, so ese sábado. So
It's like what?
enough to smell. You would have smelled her body. So she was like, absolutely not. There's no way somebody placed her there. And that's what everybody's thinking. It blows my mind.
It blows my mind. Dude, like
there's
seriously,
no way.
like, I know that there's been cases that piss me the fuck off, but this one pisses me off the most because it's like, there is no fucking way that you didn't see this little girl there.
Or find her there.
Or find her there. Because an idiot could have walked by and been like, oh, you know.
Y Erika, una de las nanas, she says in an interview, she was like, you could tell when a toy would get, like, se caía para ese pedacito between the bed frame and the bed. She's like, you could tell it was a lump. Like, you could tell that. How, there's no way that a whole little body, and she looked like a 4-year-old little girl. I mean, a 4-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, she wasn't, like, chiquita.
She wasn't tiny. She looked like a 4-year-old.
She was, like, what I'm saying is big enough to where you can see her hair, you can see her hands.
Or you can see I don't know, some spot, but el bulto. You wouldn't able to see el bulto right there.
Yeah,
so,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I am enraged because of that, because it just feels like so upsetting that somebody could just pick up this little baby and then put her somewhere. So somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, I just can't imagine. That's what is so upsetting.
And Lili Tellez, when the Netflix show premiered in 2020 and people started talking about the case again, she tweeted that after many times of stating incessantly that Paulette's body was not on that bed, like throughout the years after it happened, she received a threat that told her to leave the case alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I can't believe.
So, okay, so yeah, they found Paulette's body. Everybody's like enraged and fuck no, you know? They're waiting for the autopsy results. Y Alberto Vaz says that her death was caused by asphyxiation by suffocation.
Yep.
Okay? And that the case was not considered a homicide investigation.
So this motherfucker goes in front of, like, makes a statement.
Before the autopsy
Before the
results
autopsy results come out, anything. Once again, we go back to the same thing. He wasn't the smartest cookie in the bunch, but hey.
He was fresh meat.
He was fresh meat. So he goes out there and I know that in the series, they're like, you shouldn't do this. Don't do it. But he's like, I have to. That people are asking for answers.
Yes.
You know, because by this time, this is a big publicized thing. Mind you, the news reporters are putting pictures of this little girl out in the fucking, news. So they're like, hey, ¿qué pedo? ¿Qué pasó con la niña? So he's like, you know what? I have to put something out. So he does what?
So, like you said, he was facing major backlash for the way the investigation was handled and how they could have missed her body in her fucking bedroom on the bed.
So now he's saying, oh, well.
Yeah, and he says he acknowledged that the mistakes were made and that they were just concentrating on searching outside the home. Okay, so pasó todo esto on top of everything that, had been coming out de Lisette, la mom. And it's a homicide investigation now, so who's the prime suspect? Lisette, la mom. What also helped add to this suspicion some more is that Paulette, when they find her body, is wearing a specific PJ set. What looked a lot like the ones that Lisette, the mom, pulls out in an interview given in Paulette's room. She's like giving like a rundown of the Paulette's nighttime routine. So she grabbed these set of PJs and she lays them on the bed. But it's not after pasan like not like a couple of weeks or whatever, that Paulette, after Paulette is buried and, las nanas, they show las nanas this video and they're giving an interview saying that no, that PJ set was actually little Lisette's. And they actually look a little bit bigger, that the mom would tend to buy them matching PJ sets. But by the time this video comes out, people are not thinking that. They don't know this. It hasn't been disproven. So,
yeah.
So they're like, oh, fuck, Lisette.
Yeah, I do imagine how somebody would do that. Like, I would.
I mean, you're going to react. So. You just want answers.
You just want answers, and people are like, pissed at.
So the people are like this. The PJ said video comes out, and people are just like, oh fuck no.
Yeah,
it's the mom.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I thought it was a mom too.
So también the video where they show that when Paulette's body was found actually gets some scrutiny también, because a lot of people are saying that it looks staged, and I agree, and that the experts that found her body did not seem surprised at all that she was there.
Yeah,
I did see one report that said, I don't know how accurate it was, but I didn't find it anywhere else, que decía que hubo un apagón first en el apartamento. Y luego se prendieron las luces y luego es cuando entraron al cuarto de Paulette y grabaron que encontraron su body.
So in the series, I know, I'm sorry, but y'all probably tired of my ass saying that. But in the series, it actually, that's something that's a big deal. They do have a problem with the lights. Mm-hmm. They all of a sudden say the lights come off, and then when the lights came back on, Paulette's body was there. Mm-hmm. So that is something that they do bring up in the series. Yeah. I don't know if that's something that was in the research.
I only found it in one news
But
source.
In this place, in the series, it does say there, yes, there was, apparently the lights flickered when they came back on. They have the body there. And it's like, and so then Bas in the series says, la plantaron, they put her there.
Yeah.
And so then...
So he believes that it's a homicide.
Yes. So that's a big thing because everybody is like, no, whatever, going on to the next stage. But he, in his mind, at that moment, thinks that it's a homicide.
And people agree with it, right? Because...
People outside of
the
public agreed with it because I'm not an idiot. But people that are in the actual inner circle, like the government, all of these people are like, no, she was there. Remember?
Yeah.
She was there. And so then that's where it starts getting complicated.
Yes. So, okay, now it's going to get more crazy, right? Hold on to your ass. Agárrate los calzones, para que no se te caigan. When the autopsy results come out, Paulette's death is considered an accident. She died by asphyxiation that obstructed her respiratory airways and compressed her abdominal thorax, which is just pretty much saying she suffocated herself to death, that she rolled herself while sleeping into that position and got stuck and suffocated herself.
Mind you, once again, let's go back. She's sleeping in a vertical position.
Like everybody does.
Like everybody does. There's pillows next to her, and she's going to turn sideways, horizontally, and roll
to the foot of the bed.
When
las nanas said that had never happened. I mean, I know the bed was fairly new, 15 to 20 days, but they said in all that time that had never happened. And if it would have happened, she would have made a noise or she would have screamed que estaba atorada. But they said that never happened.
Okay, so we're going to go back. So she's horizontal. There's pillows next to her. Horizontal. She's vertical, excuse me. She's vertical. So then she turns horizontally. Mind you, my kids sleep ugly. I get it. But, you know, it's never happened before. So then they're coming down and she's rolling herself down to the foot of the bed horizontally to fit perfectly in between the bed and the mattress. Yeah. The bed frame and the mattress. And she falls in there. She's in there enough to not make a noise, not scream, and suffocate.
Yes. Okay, so...
Thank you.
The autopsy also shows that Paulette had been deceased between 5 to 9 days before her body was found, which matched the timeline of when she first was reported missing. But for whatever reason, I don't know, they couldn't pinpoint the exact date, which was odd, or the hour, because, I mean, she wasn't outside in the elements where her body was just like too decomposed to determine her cause of death, but she was inside. And you guys cannot determine her cause of the time, the date and the hour of when she passed.
Bitch, this was in the fucking 80s and 70s and 60s. In the 70s when the DNA was barely coming out. Like, This was like in the 2000s. Yeah.
The autopsy also concluded that there were no signs of physical or sexual abuse and no drugs in her system. There was food found in her stomach that showed that she had eaten 5 hours before. And this also became a big deal. There was also some tape residue found on the sides of her mouth and the cheek area. It's known that she would attend therapy where the doctors or whoever would administer the therapy would place what they call an orthopedic cloth on the sides of her cheeks going down vertically porque she would drool a lot at night. So ella babeaba. I don't know how this helped her or whatever. Pero las nanas said that she would go to therapy only 1 day a week, which was Thursdays, and that was the only time that orthopedic cloth was placed on her. Okay, so let's say she went to terapia el jueves before she went missing, right?
Yep.
And she went missing that Monday morning.
Yep.
So in all those days after she went to therapy, before she went missing, nomás no la bañaban bien, ¿o qué? ¿No la tallaban bien?
I guess not, because it was still there.
It was still there when they found her body. So,
I would have, I'm not a forensic scientist, but I would have been like, give me the tape, and I would have compared that adhesive towards the other adhesive and saying, like, is this the same adhesive?
So now they're like, the public's like, okay, so what the fuck? You guys said it was a homicide investigation, and now you're telling me that it's an accident?
Though that's the same thing that...
So people are just like, absolutely not.
And they're flipping their shit.
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And so they're like, this is
As I am. I'm still flipping my shit.
Yeah. So now it's just like, this is a major cover-up. Some shit's happening, and we want to know. The public is outraged, with good reason.
Yeah.
Lisette, Mauricio, Erika, and Marta are all released on April 4th. They weren't charged. That same day, Alberto Vaz changed his tune and stated that he stood by the findings of the autopsy and they were no longer pursuing criminal charges against anyone. A day later, Lisette states in an interview that a psychologist is the one that let her know that Paulette had been found deceased and that she doesn't understand how she was found in that location y que it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, in the series, that is something that does coincide.
Yeah,
is that the psychiatrist is the one that tells her, and the reason is they've been in this hotel for like days, and they're exhausted, and they're like literally like, what did you do to the body? What did you do? Blah blah blah. So Bas is like, I'm not gonna go in there and tell her. You tell her.
Okay.
But you can see in the series where they tell the nanas. And they're like devastated.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like they're devastated, and then they tell her, and she's just like cold. You know?
She also, in the same interview where she says this, she says that during the questioning while under the root order, the police turned Mauricio against her, and that they tried to do the same to her, pero que she always had faith in him y que siempre she believed in him, pero apparently he didn't reciprocate. I mean, that on top of everything that was coming to light about that I mentioned earlier, all the shit against Lisette, Mauricio told Lisette that he and his family were going to go to the wake, but that she couldn't show up. He told her that he never wanted to fucking see her again. Y también el interviewer también le pregunta, well, why is he so upset with you? When did this happen? Y también, is it because of your extramarital affair?
6 or 7 or 8.
And then with the man that you met up with in Cabo, and she responds by saying that she knows that has been highly speculated, but that she did not go to meet with anyone there, that she was just there with her friend and her friend only. Okay, so that's not consistent with the series. In the series, they actually say that she had a man, and that this man and her were very, whatever. They had a relationship, and then Mauricio knew about it. Not only that, but it also, they do state that the whole series, they were against each other. So his family was against her, and her family was against him. So there's a lot of inconsistencies on that way. But I do believe the research a lot more than the series, because obviously the series has to say, hey, it's a little bit more, Paulette was buried on April 6, 2010. Las nanas, they didn't attend the funeral service. They said that nadie les dijo nada. And they were just, cuando les preguntaron if they had attended the service or her pure burial, their voices broke, and they were like, no. And then nadie les dijo nada. And it was just so, so sad. It made me feel sad too.
No, it is sad, because it's like these ladies were putting their whole lives for this child. Like, yes, that's what they were saying. They would wake up in the morning for them. They would go to sleep in the morning, at night for them. They would think about them during the night.
Vivían con ellas. Y las nanas, they're like, Paulette estaba bien apegadas a ellas, que con ellas siempre estaba. Ellas la cuidaban de Monday too. But she's like, we took care of her, nosotros la mimábamos, we carry her when she was tired,
Yeah, and I think that they did say somewhere, I did read somewhere that they said that they never thought that Lisette would have hurt her. Like, that wasn't something that they would think about.
They went on to say that they never saw Mauricio and Lisette fight, that nunca le hacían mal modo.
Exactly, que nunca, like, they weren't something that were like, oh yeah.
They never seemed like Paulette was a burden, because la ayudaban, la sacaron bastante adelante since she was a tiny baby, since she was born premature. They're like, we never saw any of that. And they did say that, she's like, we can't say what we think happened because we don't know. We weren't there. So they just never bring that up. But they were just so heartbroken that they weren't able to attend her funeral service. On the same day, Mauricio gets an interview too, and he says, and I quote, The only thing I can say is that for me, it wasn't an accident, and I can only speak for myself. Dando a entender que I know I didn't do anything, but I don't know about my wife.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Como like sospechándola.
Yeah.
Now, Lisette, the daughter, is still with Mauricio and his family, and he's not letting Lisette, la mom, see her. And she hasn't seen her since the arraigo, the root order. And they get into a custody battle. And on May 10th, 2010, a judge gives Lisette, the mom, little Lisette's custody, and they go and live with Lisette's mom.
So, my deal is like in the series, once again, sorry about that, but in the series it was more like once they were separated, like the parents of Mauricio's family was trying to take the little girl from her, and then they were like, no, and all this other shit. So I just feel like this was just so many. I mean, I like it when they make series because that way it'll give you an overview of everything. But at the same time, sometimes it gets you confused too. You're like, okay, so what actually happened and what didn't really happen? It boils down to something is not okay. Yeah. Something's wrong.
Something happened.
Yeah.
So due to all the backlash, Alberto Vaz actually resigns on May 25th, 2010. He states that he stands by the way the investigation was conducted, which was in strict compliance with the law. Okay. It is speculated that the governor's administration wanted the case closed ASAP. It was conducted so poorly that it was a bad look for Enrique Peña Nieto, who appointed Vaz as Attorney General. He was a governor at the time, and he was a front runner for the next presidential election, which he actually went on to win in 2012. So they wanted the shit done and over and moved so people can move on. In 2011, Lisette Farah filed a lawsuit against the state government for 531 million pesos for moral damages. She said that the botched investigation ruined her life. She wanted the money to start over in the U.S. She says that she was accosted in the streets. People would spit on her. Le gritaban asesina. They would write threats and leave them on her car. She couldn't work. When you fuck with the kid.
Yeah, when you fuck with the kid. Allegedly. I'm gonna be pissed at you, and I probably will call you a few names. I will.
Her lawsuit was dismissed.
Yeah, fuck yeah, I can also.
Lisette and Mauricio officially divorced in 2014. And in May of 2017, Paulette's remains were exhumed and then cremated after the remains were no longer considered evidence by the prosecution's office. Why
would you do that?
That's just how the case ends.
Like, there's nobody that did it. I do want to say something, though. I know that I did get some information, was that Vaz actually did resign, but don't feel bad for him.
Oh, no, yeah, I know.
Because he actually got appointed
to an intelligence, head of the intelligence.
They made a whole
department
for his ass. So he, like, literally was, you would think, oh, pobrecito, he resigned because he felt so bad. No, fuck him, by the way. Peña Nieto made a whole department for him to have a position.
I think, like, at the beginning, like, his heart was in the right place.
I think so, too.
He thought that, somebody did this to Paulette. Yeah. We need to get him, and we need to find him. Yeah. Pero I think it boils down to...
as in everything that happens...
political bullshit.
In Mexico, a lot.
They needed this over and done with, so they did that. And then, actually, I did read que también el Deputy Attorney General, Castillo, I forgot his first name. He's the one, he was leading the investigation. Vaz was just the main front news person.
So he would actually just say whatever Castillo was telling him to say.
Yeah, so actually I saw that fucking Vaz in 2018 was like under investigation for espionage or some bullshit. So they're in fucking trouble right now too. Yeah. Or they were. Well, I don't know. There's a whole fucking mess. But
that's a mess. That's a whole.
I mean, I feel like you can just, all of us, you can go into it with the best intentions, but people that don't want the truth to come out will get to you eventually.
Yeah. And I completely agree with that. And I feel like, honestly, I feel sad for
this little
baby. And no matter, just because it's in Mexico, pero like in any country, like if that was my child, like I want them to get justice for what happened. But at the same time, I feel like they were hiding so much from everybody. And so then you're like, so well, then what's the truth? Like, what actually happened to her?
And I tried Googling is to see if any of this ever happened before or to anybody. Not common, but has happened at least a couple of times before. But I personally couldn't find anything. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's so sad.
It's very sad.
Especially when you see, like, her little fucking face, dude. It's so sad.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah, she's so beautiful. They had, like, freaking posters everywhere of her little face with her little outfit from school. Mm-hmm. And, like, her little ponytails. Yeah. And so then it is sad because, once again, you have nieces. I have children. You know, everybody out there that is here listening to us either knows or has somebody in their life that's around that age. And it breaks your heart.
Yeah.
It breaks your heart because it's like, you know, this little baby girl lost her life and we don't know why. We don't even know why. Like, there's no answers for it. There's no answers. Okay, if she died because of so-and-so, or she had to pass away for this, or she actually, but we don't know. Like, this case is not, nobody found ever what happened to her. And now apparently they needed to bury her out and cremate her. Like, that was necessary, you know? But I honestly still think that the parents had something to do with it. I honestly do in my heart. I feel like, you know, I get what you're saying. You know, the mom, everybody grieves differently and all this bullshit. But, dude, it's your child. I feel like they both had something to do with it and somebody was covering something up.
I don't know. I think maybe...
That's just me.
I think something happened, an accident.
Yeah. I feel like it was an accident. They didn't mean to happen, but it happened. And then they're like, fuck, what do we do? How do we cover it up?
And this, in this case actually has been compared to JonBenet Ramsey's. A lot. And when I first saw it, que al rato la encontraron in her bedroom, and she had been there this whole time, I'm like, in my head, I thought JonBenet Ramsey.
Yeah. And when I was telling you about the case, you were like, JonBenet Ramsey.
Yeah.
Honestly, we really do appreciate the
feedback.
The feedback, the comments, because we don't know what we're doing. We don't know if we're doing it right.
We're just doing it.
We're just doing it. And, you know, I really do appreciate everything.
Yes, we do.
That's it for today's case. Tell us what you think. Let us know if you think that the mom and the dad did it.
Yeah.
I really would like to know.
We would like to know. Okay, thank you.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias por estar con nosotros.
Wait, I still have coffee left.
Okay.
Do you have coffee
All right.
left? Do you still have
Cheers to coffee.
Cheers.
Cheers. Anyway,
Okay.
that was weird. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Adios.